Howdy folks, it is Scanner here. In this video we're doing a little something different. I'm going to be showing some footage of myself painting, partially because as I want to do a couple of painting oriented videos, I just want to get used to painting on camera. I also think painting different types of models will be interesting background footage instead of just like still images and stuff like that. And in the future, I'd kind of like to do a better job with this. I can just do like general commentary videos. I'm painting in the background, and on the screen in text form, I'll have information coming up about the type of paint I'm using or the technique or whatever it might be. Which technique-wise for me is mostly just poking the model with the brush until the paint transfers from one to the other. That's about as complicated as I like to get, but it is a lot of fun, so I do it. But anyway, what I want to talk about today is my growing hype for Kill Team Octarius and why I'm hyped about it and why I like to control my hype a little bit. I wasn't hyped when it was first announced. I was interested, absolutely. If I wouldn't have been pre-ordering it if I wasn't interested. As we get closer to release, I allow myself to become hyped. And part of this control that I try and have around my feelings of hypedness for various things is because I work in the video game industry. The video game industry is aimed and designed to try and make you hyped about certain things, and it's my job to avoid that. It's my job to report on news or write articles that are not just PR mouthpieces for various companies that are releasing various products. I need to try and keep myself reasonably neutral in the run-up, but there's plenty of games out there I do get quite excited about and hyped up for as we get closer and closer to their release. A good example would be just about anything from FromSoft is really going to float my boat. A closer example will be the upcoming release of a new Destiny 2 season, which, heaven help me, I should know better, but from about Monday onwards I will start to get kind of hyped up about that. But I try and take the same approach with regards to hobby. I try and keep myself reasonably tethered and calm and sane and sensible, but much like a kid at Christmas, as we get closer to these big releases, I do allow my hype to grow. Now, one of the main reasons why I'm so hyped for Kill Team Octarius is because it just happens to coincide with some personal developments in my own life, where I've spent the last couple of years working extremely hard and working quite a lot. I've reached a point now where I will be working less and I will have actual time for hobby. That's why the channel has kind of switched over to what it has switched over to. I will have time for hobby. I will have time to actually play games. And my wife, who's like a big fan of D&D and stuff like that, she's never really played tabletop war games. She's played a lot of board games, a huge amount of D&D, stuff like this, but never really ventured into tabletop wargaming. And what I plan on doing is just using Kill Team Octarius to be that jumping off point. Now, she has played a couple of games before. What I did, just to gauge her interest, was I developed my own very rudimentary system. It's very easy to make your own a basic rule set for board or for a tabletop wargame, by the way. So I just did that real quick. We played through it and she had a lot of fun. I figure with the staggered nature of Kill Team Octarius and the fun that we can have with that, we hope that it will be a great point to introduce her to the hobby. And that's really why I'm actually so hyped about this whole setup and this whole thing. It's just going to be a lot of fun for us to do, spend some fun time together. Introduce her to something which has been an enormous part of my life, I guess, for a number of years now. Point number 2 as to why I'm allowing myself to get hyped is that I have started putting together kill teams. I am putting together a team of Reavers. I'm painting the test model in this video at the moment. The reason I went with Reavers is they seem reasonably adaptable My kill team will have 2 guys with daggers and bolt pistols and 2 guys with bolt carbines, and then the leader with a bolt carbine and a dagger, basically following if you haven't read it, the Goon Hammer model that they used in that battle report. You should give that a read. I'll link it in the description below. I thought it was a neat little starting point to jump into the new kill team if you're going to be running Space Marines, and I don't want the box to arrive and then to have to spend all my time putting the models together, painting the models up, then being able to play a game and stuff. I just want kill teams good to go. I want to just be able to play from it the moment it arrives. And to do that, I'm going to put together fully painted kill teams, because playing your first games with fully painted models will just, it'll matter. You know, impressions count, first impressions count. And it will be a good first impression, I believe, for my wife when she's playing the game for the first time. So there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my Reaver team for myself. I'm using basic Reaver models from Games Workshop here with a lot of cromlech pieces attached to them. Some special shoulder pads, tabards and backpacks and cloaks from cromlech just to make them their own thing. I like to kind of gussy up my Space Marines and not just have them all be like dull and boring and all the rest of it. And I have some interesting stuff on the way that people might like to see on the channel. For my wife's kill teams, she's really down with the Xenos. There's some Xeno in her, I think. She's really likes the vibe of Tyranids, and she's down with demons too, which is quite cool. So for her first team, I'm actually just putting together something fairly simple. I was asking her what attracts her to these games in her mind, what would be fun, and she loves the idea of just stabbing the shit out of me, so I don't know what to make of that. You can interpret that as you wish, but she just really wants to be like a swarm player, a Zerger, and just close distance across the board and just rip me to shreds. I think because she's a big fan of that kind of creature feature movies, so the idea of like playing the bad guys basically from Starship Troopers seems to really float her boat, and that's what we're gonna do. I've got some Tyranids already made up from previous kind of modeling shenanigans. I just need to make up one more warrior, and then we've got a full Tyranids kill team for her ready to go, which is really nice. And I'm putting together a demons kill team for her as well, so she will have some nice variety in there. And you know, as the hobby progresses, I guess, and as she decides she likes it or not, she'll be making her own kill teams and painting her own models and doing all this stuff, and she'll leave the nest and become a hobbyist all of her own, and we'll need to like make some space around the hobby table for her, which will be nice. But yeah, that's why I'm hyped. I'm hyped because it's going to be a good time, and spending time with the people that we like, doing the things that we like. That's pretty dope. When I was a lad, all I would have wanted was the time and the money and the interested wife to hobby with when I grew up, and here we are. This is it. This is the reality that I've created for myself, which is a very fun place to be. So yeah, that's it for this video. I am getting hyped for Kill Team, and I'm wondering if you are as well. I hope so. I'm aware that there's some anger out there towards Games Workshop, and that's all well and good, but we also need to enjoy. We need to enjoy things when we can, especially in a post-pandemic world where the things that we enjoy can be removed and taken away from us so quickly and easily. So yeah, that's it guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, you may consider liking and subscribing, and as always, thank you so much for watching.